Every evening, when the light fades, your robin returns to the exact same hidden branch. It does not sleep in the comfortable nest you might have imagined for it. This is the secret battle it faces, alone in the cold dark. You have seen it feeding bravely on your lawn during the bright winter days. But have you ever wondered, where do robins sleep at night when the frost sets in? Today, I am going to reveal 5 hidden behaviors of your garden bird after dusk. I will tell you exactly what it goes through while you are sleeping warmly indoors. And you must wait for the 5th point, because it will change how you see tomorrow morning. Number 1 is the secret bedroom it chose, specifically for its absolute safety. Unlike what many people believe, your little companion does not sleep inside a nest. A nest is only built for raising babies during the warm and busy spring season. In the dead of winter, a nest would be a dangerous and exposed place to rest. Instead, your robin searches for the thickest and most tangled ivy in your entire garden. It looks for an evergreen shrub that offers a dense roof of leaves against the wind. This specific spot was chosen after careful observation of every shadow in your yard. It knows the exact angle where the street light cannot reach its tiny, delicate body. It remembers which branch is thick enough to hold it, but thin enough to feel predators. The moment the sun dips below the horizon, it flies straight to this hidden sanctuary. It does not wander around or try a different branch to see if it feels better. It goes back to the exact same spot it slept in yesterday and the day before. This fierce loyalty to one sleeping place is a matter of pure survival in the wild. By knowing every leaf around it, the bird can detect the slightest unnatural movement. It memorizes the shape of the darkness in that specific corner of the winter hedge. If a cat brushes against the bottom leaves, your robin knows instantly that something is wrong. If an owl lands on the fence nearby, it can feel the vibration through the wood. You might have walked past its bedroom 100 times during the day without even noticing. But to your robin, that tangled mess of leaves is a fortress of absolute security. It tucks itself away from the freezing wind and prepares for the long hours ahead. This is a very private space that it shares with absolutely no one else. Not even its mate from the previous spring is allowed to sleep anywhere nearby. It sits there completely alone, waiting for the final light to leave the winter sky. Your garden transforms into a silent world, and the robin becomes a ghost within it. It closes its eyes, but part of its mind remains awake to guard against the night. Number 2 is the beautiful but melancholic farewell song it sings to the fading light. Before the darkness completely takes over your garden, something magical happens in the dense bushes. Your robin will often sing a soft and fading melody from its hidden roosting branch. This is not the aggressive and loud song it uses to fight rivals during the day. It is a much lower and quieter tune that sounds almost like a whisper to itself. Researchers have noticed this winter evening song has a distinctively sad and lonely quality to it. It is as if the bird is saying goodbye to the safety of the daylight hours. When you close your curtains and turn on the heating inside your comfortable warm house, your little bird is out there letting out its final beautiful notes of the cold evening. It sings until the very last trace of purple finally leaves the frozen winter horizon. This song is also a way of calming its own racing heart before the cold sets in. By making this sound, it claims the terrifying darkness just as it claimed the bright daylight. It tells any other bird in the vicinity that this specific garden is already fully occupied. Even in the face of a freezing night, it remains proud and defiant in its territory. But the moment the song ends, an absolute silence falls over the sleeping hidden branch. The bird puffs up its soft feathers to create a thick layer of warm, trapped air. It pulls its head down into its shoulders, completely hiding its bright red breast from view. The vibrant red color is far too dangerous to display when nocturnal hunters are on the prowl, so it becomes a small round ball of brown and gray, blending perfectly into the bark. It stands on one single leg and tucks the other up into its warm belly feathers. When that tiny leg gets cold, it seamlessly switches to the other without opening its eyes. It is a delicate balancing act performed flawlessly in complete and utter freezing darkness. There is absolutely no one to witness this quiet routine except the silent winter moon. The bird breathes slowly as the temperature in your garden begins to drop very rapidly. The long, bitter wait has begun, and there are still 14 hours until the morning dawn. Number 3 is the incredible physical transformation it undergoes to survive the deadly winter freeze. As midnight approaches, the temperature in your peaceful garden might easily drop far below 0 degrees. For a tiny creature that weighs less than a single battery, this cold is incredibly deadly. It does not have a thick layer of body fat like a mammal to keep its internal organs warm, so your robin performs a dangerous biological magic trick that borders on the edge of death. It enters a state called torpor, which is a short and highly controlled form of hibernation. It intentionally lowers its own body temperature by several degrees to save its precious energy reserves. Its rapidly racing heartbeat slows down to a mere fraction of its normal busy daytime rhythm. Its breathing becomes so incredibly shallow that you would barely be able to see its chest move. It hangs in a very delicate suspension between the living, breathing world and the freezing night. This is the only possible way it can make its tiny reserve of fuel last until the morning. If it tried to stay fully warm, it would burn through all its energy in just a few hours. So it willingly surrenders a part of its own warmth to the winter air in order to endure the dark. It feels the biting frost creeping into the fragile edges of its feathers, but it stays perfectly still. It does not shiver, because shivering would waste the valuable energy it desperately needs to survive. It just waits in this frozen, silent trance while the white frost covers the grass on your lawn. While you are sleeping comfortably under thick blankets, the bird is fighting a silent internal war. Every single passing minute of the night is a terrifying, calculated equation of heat loss and survival. It is entirely alone in this brutal struggle, relying only on its own amazing physiological endurance. Many other birds might huddle together in large groups to share their body heat and stay alive. But your fiercely independent robin is far too territorial to ever share a branch with anyone. It chooses complete isolation and faces the freezing temperatures with a stubborn and beautiful bravery. It is a solitary, tiny warrior standing its ground in the harshest winter conditions imaginable. It dreams whatever quiet dreams a bird has while suspended in the freezing, bitter winter air, and it simply hopes that the little fuel inside its body will be enough to see the sun again. Number 4 is the shocking and terrible price your robin pays for every single night of survival. You might not realize exactly how destructive the bitter cold is to such a small and fragile body. During a single freezing winter night, your robin will lose up to 10% of its entire body weight. Imagine losing that much of your own self in just 14 hours of simply trying to sleep. The little bird is literally burning its own substance just to keep the vital fire inside it alive. Its natural fat reserves are incredibly tiny to begin with, and the endless night consumes them ruthlessly. By the time the first gray light begins to break, the bird is running on absolute empty. It is physically completely exhausted from the sheer monumental effort of staying alive in the freezing dark. It absolutely cannot afford to have 2 extremely cold nights in a row without finding rich, nourishing food. If it fails to replenish those lost vital fat reserves during the short winter day, it will sadly die. This is the brutal and unforgiving reality of the wild garden world that exists right outside your window. Every single morning that you see your robin hopping on the white frost is a small, daily miracle. It means the brave bird successfully calculated its energy and won the difficult battle against the cold. It means its hidden private bedroom in the ivy was sheltered just enough to save its precious life. But the victory is incredibly fragile, and the bird knows it must start the desperate cycle all over again. It wakes up with a desperate and consuming intense hunger that dictates every single move it makes. There is absolutely no time to rest or sing when the sun finally touches the highest garden branches. The long, cold night has taken its heavy toll, and the bird is now frantically racing against the clock. It must find enough calories to somehow survive the next night, which is only a few short hours away. This is exactly why your little feathered friend is so relentlessly active during the dark winter months. It is certainly not playing in the snow or enjoying the crisp cold air for the simple fun of it. It is working with frantic, absolute determination to rebuild the 10% of its body it just lost. Every small worm and every tiny seed is a vital building block for facing the coming darkness. The bird is trapped in a relentless, brutal cycle of starving in the dark and frantic eating in the light. And this brings us to the most important and beautiful revelation about its very special relationship with you. Number 5 is the heartwarming reason why your robin puts all of its faith into you and your home. When the tiny bird wakes up completely physically depleted, it needs guaranteed rich food absolutely immediately. The garden ground is frozen solid, making it completely impossible to dig for natural worms and hidden insects. The red berries on the winter trees are quickly running out or have already been eaten by hungry flocks. This is exactly when your garden becomes the absolute most important place in the bird's entire survival world. It flies out of its dark sanctuary and heads straight to the familiar places it knows best. It looks intently at your kitchen window, patiently waiting for the familiar signs of movement inside your house. It checks the wooden bird table, hoping that you have remembered to put out some high-energy winter food. When it finally sees you step out the back door, it does not fly away in fear like other birds. Instead, it drops down from the wooden fence and lands just a few feet away from your warm boots. It looks up at you with those dark, incredibly intelligent eyes, silently asking for a vital lifeline. In that desperate, freezing morning hour, your robin has decided that you are its absolute best chance of survival. It deeply trusts that you will provide the fat and the seeds it desperately needs to rebuild its strength. It remembers perfectly that yesterday you turned the cold soil and magically exposed a hidden feast just for it. It instinctively knows that your kind presence means the absolute difference between starving and beautifully surviving. This amazing trust is not a cute trick, but a deeply ingrained wild survival strategy learned over time. Your garden is the robin personal winter supermarket, and you are the reliable and trusted keeper of the food. By consistently feeding it in the harsh winter, you are directly undoing the terrible damage of the freezing night. You are literally replacing the 10% of its weight that the cruel darkness stole away while you slept. You are giving it the precious fuel it needs to sing its evening song and face the very next night. So the very next time you see it waiting for you in the cold gray light of a winter morning, know for a fact that it just survived a terrible ordeal and it came directly to you for salvation. It is a brave, tiny warrior that has chosen your home as its ultimate and most trusted sanctuary. And it rewards your lovely kindness with its constant loyal presence and its incredibly beautiful winter song. You and your brave little robin are forever bound together in the quiet, beautiful magic of the winter season. If this brave little robin sounds familiar to you in your own garden, if this story of tough winter survival feels like it perfectly belongs to your life, then please subscribe to the Robin Files. We share the hidden secrets of your beloved garden birds so you can understand them better. A new story every week.